My cousin keeps taking advantage of me financially, so I called her out.
Do it.
Do it and get your money back. I'll call my cousin Katie to make it easier, and I will write this in a way to tell both sides the best I could. So for many years, me and Katie have been very close. We're 2 months and a year apart from one another, and we're raised in different homing situations. By the way, this comes from Fear Factory 007 on the OK Storytime subreddit. I was a surprise baby from a almost 4 month relationship, and she was a planned child with a married couple of a year. I went through my own dad issues with a PTSD, boozyic father, while she went through her own with a divorced family and honestly scummy uncle. P.S. Both dads are better now. Both me and her weren't rich, but that was fine. We're both humble bees in a hive. Bumblebees, but like humble bees.
Humble bees.
During my senior year of high school, Katie went on a trip abroad to Spain and lived there for a year with her college classes. It looked fun, and we jokingly mentioned doing it together. We were basically siblings. She came back and went to a different state from my own to continue with college and lived in an apartment with her boyfriend, who's the dopest dude I've ever met. Love that. I don't know what changed, but it started during the panic that was the pandemic. Katie and her boyfriend had to do online classes, as did I and many others. But after a year, she moved back to her state to live with our grandfather and her dad, who lived together. My grandpa is a depressed old man who constantly mourns over the loss of his wife, my grandma, and my uncle, Kay's dad, was in and out of the hospital due to his drinking. Both were getting worse, so I knew she was getting stressed. So me and my other family members helped out. Then we were in the pandemic, Katie started wanting to go out. She would invite me out to town, which is fair since she's back and we're both allowed to do so. And it was a lot of fun at first. Then it slowly turned into why I'm making this post. There were moments when Katie's boyfriend called while in the car while she drove us to the newest location of entertainment. And once he hung up, she complained how he's so weird about money. She was basically acting like she's the only one making money and hoarding it when they both work. And honestly, in both jobs, he had a higher income. Now, here's the thing for the next story. I am 80% introvert with autism and social anxiety. I take jokes seriously by accident and apologize quite often. And due to the trauma of toxic friends who even straight up victim blame me, I suffer from a habit of shutting down and letting the fountain in my head overflow from these bottled emotions. And I even blame myself if someone gets angry, even when it's not on me. I also have an issue because my main love language of giving is gift giving, meaning I enjoy giving things to people to show my love, not next to physical touch. Maybe saying like OP likes gift giving, and then she's like, and then I like physical touch.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm a doormat. I have been getting better and growing a proper spine with the help of friends and loved ones. I even yelled at my dad during one of his yelling fits for no reason, which I was shaking over. But either way, this needed to be said because of the main incidents that happened. File number 1, the Target. So this was a thing that happened months ago and is still fresh in my mind. Katie randomly came over to our house wanting to do tie-dye and even brought her own kit. This was a fun idea, but we had no white clothes, so Katie and I went to the nearest Target. I originally planned to buy 2 white hoodies, a white blank t-shirt, and a white t-shirt with an image on it to tie-dye, and that was the plan for both. But then she started grabbing random things and showing them off and putting them in the cart. I said twice, okay, you can put those down, but we have to put the ones we don't want back. During the trip, if I so much as said something was cute, she put it in the cart. She saw a pair of jeans and hinted how she so badly wanted them but can't pay for them, and left them in a huff, and then came back with possible tie-dye options and put a bunch of men's clothes in the cart so she could tie-dye something for her boyfriend. By the end, the cart was a mountain of white clothes, and I told her twice that she should pay for her stuff since I had my plan and made her own. She agreed. Then, when I was ready to check out, she walked away to look at a shirt, and I was stuck paying. No. This is when you just wait. You go, oh, she left. Yeah. You pay for your stuff, and then you wait with hers.
Right, just like, oh, I had someone else with me. They were going to pay.
Yeah.
But we'll put this cart back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't pay.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely
You just say,
not.
you just wait. You say, mm-mm.
No.
Due to my autism, I get paid by the government since my autism and anxiety make it hard to do a normal job. I can't explain it in words, but basically I get paid every month for disability. It costs about $300 altogether, including like 1 stick of gum. Worst part, we come home and showed my mom the haul, and when she asked what happened, she hates when I overspend. Katie basically told her she was showing me some items and I grabbed them and put them in the cart. Now she tried to make me stop, but she couldn't.
She's totally just taking advantage of...
That's ridiculous.
Like this person.
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
like, yeah, no, I didn't do that. It was OP.
That is crazy.
For sure.
Crazy.
I wasn't quiet on this. I told her that's not what happened,
Good.
but she kept saying that story. My mom, however, believed me, and we went through an hour sorting through what we wanted to tie-dye and put the unwanted stuff in a bag to return in the morning. Good. I got a refund, and my mom told my aunt, who in turn warned Katie. Katie never paid me back for the items that were hers, but I don't care about that. Incident number 2, the baby shower. Katie has a lot of friends. She's an extrovert for sure, and one of her friends was having a baby shower for her second kid, and Katie and 2 other friends were invited. So she invited me as well to get me out of the house, which would be fine, except I knew no one there, and just 2 weeks ago, the Target thing happened. I did get a new dress from my sister as a surprise random gift from her, so I was somewhat excited to show it off at the party. When I got in the car, Katie mentioned that she and her friends were going to buy the baby shower gift in a store on the way, which I thought was weird, but didn't say anything. We go to a store and they paid for their baby gifts. Fun, right? Wrong. Well, in the parking lot, Katie suddenly brought up how the friend's first child, a 4-year-old, was most likely going to be upset no one brought him anything, even though the party is at his own house where his own toys are. We all went to a Target. Yes, I know. And I was expecting they were going to get a stuffed animal or toy car, which would be $1 or $2. But they all agreed on this big A toy truck with over 50 littler cars and trucks inside the box. That was $20.
Oh, wow.
We got to check out, and I, after a while, agreed to pay for the toy. It was $20, right? What pain could it cause? Well, I also ended up making 2 stops at Starbucks on the way, mainly because we wanted Starbucks. And one girl realized she didn't like her drink and wanted another at the same time. They wanted refills. The party was okay. It was honestly fun, but one of the friends' baby did puke on my new dress, and I was basically alone for the whole night.
Oh my God.
So they're just making you pay everything.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's
terrible.
terrible.
I think they're capitalizing on OP's kind of social anxiety and probably like hesitancy to stand up for herself.
Absolutely.
And making her pay for everything.
Yeah. Ugh.
I stole a bunch of sodas though.
Nice.
That's a win.
Yay.
Here's the thing about both those incidents though. She has enough money to pay for both. She got her paycheck that month and wasn't paying rent at her dad's and my grandpa's home. Incident number 3.
Oh boy.
The amusement park.
There's
Katie's not
more?
looking good.
Not at all.
So in my area, we have an amusement park like a boardwalk, but half the size and rides. That's popular for summer. Me and Katie love it as well as my sister. Me and Katie went there often beforehand when we were both free, and my sister has been there a few times. My sister is in her teen years now, so it was perfect. Anyway, before we went to the park, we ate lunch at a nice place. Using my state checks, I paid for me and my sister's stuff since now I wasn't offering to pay for everything. Growing a spine, you know, cool. After we ate, we went to the park and bought passes for a day. I bought 2 passes. One for me and one for my sister, while Katie paid for her own as we agreed on. She, however, seemed snippy about it as if I was going to pay for her. The first thing Katie and my sister wanted to do was this spinny ride that goes in a full circle of 2 carts, and you apparently have the free will to make your cart spin however you want. I love roller coasters, but I hate the ones where I dangle over the seat witnessing how high up I am. I love classic rides like the Haunted Mansion, which are calm, or rides like the Big Dipper, which are fast but nothing to give me an anxiety attack. I've never heard of that one. I wasn't all for doing this ride, but they begged me, so I went on. Katie and my sister were on one cart, and I had to wait for the next round, and I was on a cart by myself. Also, the person sitting next to me didn't tell me jack crap about how this ride works. So at several points, I was spinning so fast and dangling, and at one point I was high above, making the ride stop on the edge of bursting into tears of fear and embarrassment. The ride ended, and I was spinning like crazy. I tasted the faintness of my lunch earlier, and I needed to sit down. Katie wanted to go on a ride like the Big Dipper instead and said, after this, then you can sit down. Well, we went on, and I felt worse. Did Katie stop and take me home? No! She kept repeating, after this ride, over and over, and I sat out of literally all of them with many water bottles by my side that cost $3 each. At one point, I sat at a bench feeling terrible and started crying. My sister comforted me, and I kept apologizing over and over for it, in my mind at least, ruining the night. My sister told me I wasn't, and I was fine, and we both mentioned how It didn't feel well to Katie, who just rolled her eyes and complained how we wasted so much money over this, which made me feel worse. We stayed there for a total of 3 hours, with me sitting on either a bench or the floor, drinking cold water and trying not to cry from the head spins and loud noises and lights around me.
Oh my gosh.
That's not
This is
fun.
so painful.
We did finally leave, but not because of me feeling like heck and us complaining about it, but because of a personal issue with her friends. Just doesn't sound like a good cousin. It doesn't
Not
sound
at
like a person that
all.
you want to be around.
No.
Only upside of the whole thing was I got a kissy missy doll while we were there. Incident number 4, the bookstore.
Oh,
Any thoughts about that
no.
incident though?
Just all the incidents in general. She's just like not a considerate person at all. Like just not thinking about OP, not thinking about what she wants, how she's feeling.
Yeah. And I think you don't have to hang out. Just because she's your cousin does not mean that you have to hang out with her.
Yeah, she obviously doesn't she doesn't want to
She
hang out with you.
doesn't-
She
yeah, it
wants
doesn't
a
seem like
ride and money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she can find that elsewhere.
exactly.
This happened sometime after I recovered from the amusement park, dizzy spins, and vomiting for almost 2 days. Whoa.
Oh man.
You were knocked out. Jeez.
Yeah.
When Katie came over with her dad and our grandpa, she saw on Insta an author she liked very much had just announced a new book a day ago and said it'll be all bookstores in my area, and she wanted to go. I would be fine to go, but I wasn't wanting to spend a lot of money that week, and it was hotter than Satan's balls and armpits in my city. But everyone in the room stared at me, so I had to say yes.
Oh gosh.
My sister came too. We walked into the bookstore. My sister got Starbucks gift cards as a gift from a friend, so we got that while Katie ditched us in search of the book. On the way, me and my sister found one book each that we'd both liked enough. Mine was a book with proper LGBT representation with pagan roots, while she found an awesome true crime lesbian story. We love the creepiness and gayness. Yeah. After we paid for our drinks and books, we found Katie looking pissed.
Uh-oh.
The store didn't have the book that she wanted anymore. Bummer for you. Order it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
On the walk to the car, she complained how apparently they were of no help to her, even though they did their best, and how if they didn't have it in stock, then why didn't they say that on the site? I'm kind of low-key protective of this bookstore, so I was calming her down and explaining to her how they tried their best, and for her to understand that it was the day before a well-known author announced a new book in local bookstores of the area. It was bound to sell out. She stopped the argument only to start up again each time I was getting more and more pissed off over it. Then she started talking to me as if I was an idiot, but asking, I'm sorry, did you take economics in high school? Which I did, and I told her. Also, I'm sorry, high school economics?
Yo,
She's like,
what?
I understand all areas of business because I took high school economics.
They would have my book.
Yeah.
I just know it.
I don't think that's how it works, girly.
Crazy.
She started to fumble with her words, but continued the argument. Once we got home, I was so pissed. I went straight to my own room to de-stress because I hate being angry. She left after that. Incident number 5. The random late night hangouts.
How many incidents are there?
There's a lot of we're almost at the end.
So many.
A lot of incidents.
This person
at
is
this point we don't need to hang out with her anymore.
Yeah.
On like the 3rd incident, I'm like, okay.
Just annoying. How old is she to be get that?
I don't know. I think they're not in high school, so they must be in like early 20s or something.
Yeah, and I guess Katie would be out of high school. I'm imagining Katie as like a 9-year-old at this point. Like
That's what she's acting like. Yeah.
Exactly.
These are in between things that happen after the bookstore incident. Katie would come over either alone or with her dad or boyfriend late at night, where I would be more than ready to not talk and socialize with people around me and talk with friends I can't see for a long time and draw. It's okay, but she doesn't get that I'm an introvert. There were moments where she stayed until 11 at night just painting by herself while my dad went to bed. My sister was at a friend's house, and my mom and uncle went to the store real fast to get my uncle's eggs. I got up and told her I was going to bed since it was late, and I have a strict schedule of video hangouts with my professors about the classes. Katie got annoyed and started complaining how I don't have anything better to do. She's got to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
She's going to bed. What do you
Let
mean?
her
It's like
rest.
midnight. And we're finally adults. Adults stay up longer than this. No. Wrong. When you're adults, you go to bed at 9. There's kind of a swing around. It starts, you're a 9-year-old.
Yep.
And you go to bed at like 8:30.
Yep.
Or 9.
Yep.
And then you go into high school and you start staying up later and you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Is so cool.
Oh my God. And then you hit, honestly, for me, it was during college, but a lot of other people after college, back to 9 p.m. bedtimes.
Yeah, I'm still on the 12 p.m. or a.m. It's
no, I go to bed at like 11, honestly.
Yeah,
but I'm like
it's all about your lifestyle. But still, that's not like you don't have to stay up just because you're an adult. Like it's spoken like a 9-year-old. That has all of a sudden gotten into
stay up longer.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I don't like her.
The thing is, she knows how my mind works and also knows how important these meetings are, but I didn't push her on it. Another time, she and her boyfriend came late in the night and we painted and drew and watched Mr. Fantastic, which is one of my favorite movies. And it got to the point where it was a huge, beautiful scene full of emotions and Katie was crying. I couldn't see from where I was and how dark the room was, so I asked if she was crying, not in a tone or being rude because I don't trust myself watching Disney or Pixar movies in movie theaters because of how ugly I cry. But she snapped at me and yelled that I always do this crap, which I have never once done.
What is she saying she's doing?
Okay, that crying? I will say, no, OP went, are you crying?
Oh.
Which depending on how you said that, I would have been like, yeah, and what of it? It's a sad movie. Right. It's not a sad, but there are emotional words.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
that happened. My mom always cries in every movie, and for a while I was the same way. And I would just like look at her and be like, "You too," and she'd be like, "Yeah." And then we would get tissues.
I don't cry a lot at movies, but I did watch one movie this year called Nowhere Special, and I have never been that affected by any movie in my life. I sobbed. My dad and I both sobbed for 15 minutes after the movie. Oh my gosh. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen. Yeah. And also incredibly sad.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's how you know it's good though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Incident number 6. Yesterday. This happened yesterday and both my sister and I were home alone for about an hour. I was going to get food when my sister came to the room and said Katie was on the phone. My phone is broken, so hers was the best option. Katie was telling us that one of her friends was planning on coming over with her, whom last time I heard they weren't on speaking terms, and that friend's 1-year-old baby, whom I have photographed, to ask for advice on party planning. No one wanted them over. My dad hates random guest stuff because we have to get all our dogs outside and he has to make food. Not everyone's going to eat. And me and my sister weren't up for it. I was given the phone, heard her out, and said that was okay, but maybe she should wait a little more for my mom or dad to come home just so we can get the dogs out and my mom would give better advice than me. I even said I'll try my best. Katie snapped at me and yelled at me for taking things too seriously and literal and how I'm being confusing and not making sense and a bunch of other stuff. I'll admit I began to shut down and tear up and my sister took over the call again and Katie hung up saying she'll text us when she's coming over. And after that, my sister did her best to comfort me. My dad came home and we told him what happened. He wasn't happy, obviously. And my mom came home after and we let her in. By the way, we want to let you guys in to more stories like this. And you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left. But oh my goodness, I think they just need to, like the parents need to be like, hey, you can't come over. Yeah. Like you're not invited. Yeah. Like someone other than OP needs to handle this girl. Right. People just need to tell her no. Yeah. Please. Please don't come over. Yeah. Like, not a good time for us. No one likes you. You could say that too. Yeah. That works. You say, hey, Katie. Hey, Katie. Everyone freaking hates you. And we don't want you to come over. Sounds great to me. Yeah. Yeah. And there we have it. There you go. Easy. Hours passed and there was no sign or message from Katie once. And she ended up not showing up and didn't even let us know. Never mind message. Which I think that's worse since my dad made a big dinner for it to only be wasted. Well, I mean, she's only like one girl. I feel like you can still eat that big dinner. Yeah. True. Because he did say beforehand that like he didn't like group hangouts because he would have to cook that no one would eat. But I mean, like maybe we can as a family. Yeah. Or leftovers. Depending on what it is. If it's like, I don't know, not fish or something. Yeah. Something. I hate to think my own cousin would be entitled, but my mind can't stop thinking of it over and over. So Reddit, would I be the a-hole to assume this? What should I do now? Girly. You are not assuming that your cousin is entitled. You just gave us 6 instances where she was entitled. She just, and sometimes family just, it's just true. It's just true. There's no 2 ways about it. No ifs and or buts. No. She just, yeah. And you don't have to hang out with her because she's.
Hey, you don't. You've already put up with her so much.
Yeah.
And even if you do hang out with her, like, you don't need to do all that stuff.
No,
like,
just say no.
Yeah, like if you go to the grocery store or Target or wherever.
Yeah, just stop bringing your card.
Yeah.
I guess people have Apple Pay.
Do that, or just like be her instead and be like, oh, let me look over there really quick.
Yeah, like
while
walk
you
away.
Go, like check out. Oh, really quick. Can you go check out? I'm just going to check this out really quick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy anything.
Yeah.
Can you take care of that really fast?
Yeah, I'm just going to go to
Thank
like
you so much.